Aloha! Please fasten your seatbelts. You're about to enter the Chef Rock Culinary Underground Showgram. Food, music, beverage, and lots of laughs. Keep your arms and legs inside the vehicle at all times. Yeah. Welcome, folks.
Chef Rock, one of a kind. Chef Rock, he will blow your mind. Chef Rock, you've got to watch him this thing. Chef Rock, he's got a big one.
Yeah, that's right, folks. We've got a big show for you today. That was Johnny Valentine and the Candy Bullets. I'd like to thank those guys for coming out. They're the regulars on our TV show, the Chef Rock Culinary Underground, every Friday night at 7 p.m. on K5, the home team. That's right, my friends. And now, this is our premiere show. I'm a little excited. Hey, finally got the radio gig. And we're right here on AM 690, The Answer. And I hope we're the answer to you out there in Radio Land to basically ask us any kind of questions you have on food. I got incredible chefs. We got the Candy Bullets and Johnny Valentine. We got everything happening right here on the show. Our first show, it's got to be big. It's got to be real big. So we got Chef Norman. We got Isaac from the Aqua Hunters. We've got Chef Nicole Latore. And, of course, Chef Rock right here. Oh, yeah. So we got some good stuff for you. Guys hungry?
Oh, yes. You know it.
Well, wish I brought some food then, huh? Always come to the party empty-handed, that's what I say, No, you always got to bring something good. And a lot of times when you want to cook and you don't have that barbecue ready, I got a great rib dish for you that you can make right in your oven and make it quick, make it tasty, and it's going to be memorable. And we call it Aloha Mango Pineapple Teriyaki Ribs. Now, there's a lot of ribs out there that you can get. The spare ribs got everything on there from the belly and on up, a lot of the cartilage, everything. I kind of like them all trimmed up, so when you go to eat them, you're not doing that much work. Of course, baby backs are what everybody knows. They're a little more expensive. I like going with the St. Louis cut. It's got the extra knuckle on there, a little more meaty. It does have the cap on top. So, you're chewing right to the bone, baby, right to the bone. And one way to make it sweet right to the bone and soft so it comes right off is an old technique I use, and it's called tenting. And what I do is I make a little dry rub, equal parts chili powder, garlic powder, salt, brown sugar, black pepper, and you make that up, and then you rub the ribs, both sides. And then I make a tent. I get some aluminum foil. You can go with the heavy duty if you have it. Place that right inside the aluminum foil right in the center. And then you start bringing up the sides. So you bring up the two big sides up to the middle, fold it up, and then you roll the end up. And then you roll the other end up. Before you roll it up, throw a couple of ice cubes in there. That's going to add some moisture in there. So these cook in its own juices. It's amazing. It's quick. So you want it sealed up tight. And then you got to put it in, believe it or not, like a 425 to 450 oven for about 45 minutes. It creates an intense heat package real quick, creates steam from these ice cubes that you put in there. It melts down the fat that's in between the layers on the ribs, and it makes the fall-off-the-bone ribs that we all like here on the islands, my friend. All right. That's a new word I learned, right? All right. I found out everybody says that over here. I thought it was just one guy. And it was like, then I started hearing everyone saying, all right. So I had to learn that, all right. It took a little while. First it was all right.
Yeah, well, first it was, it's all right.
It's all right. It's all right. And then it was New York, all right?
Yeah.
Didn't go over very big. Now I got the, all right. And people look, oh, he ain't local. He ain't local, but he's stealing our words. No, but it's a great place. That's what I love about, since I've been here for about a year and a half now, is that everyone is so friendly here in this own environment. I mean, it's a fantastic place to live. I'm privileged to be here. And what we have to do now is cook those ribs, right? I could talk all day long, but if those ribs aren't ready when it's time to eat, someone's going to be mad. So you pop those in the oven. When they're ready, you'll see it pop up. I don't know if there's any people out there remember Jiffy Pop. Oh, yeah. But the aluminum blows up, so you got to be careful when you take it out of the oven after 45 minutes. Poke it with a knife. That'll release some of the steam. Unfold it, take those ribs out, and you'll see it. The bone has the bone is sticking out, and the meat has receded a little bit, maybe about a half inch, and you know they're ready. You know. In fact, the problem what I have is eating them right out of the pan. But I like a nice glaze. Everyone likes a nice tasty glaze on their ribs because it just adds that extra bonus. And we've been fortunate enough to have one of our great sponsors, Aloha, show you. Everybody knows Aloha. The best on the island, the best in the world. I'll tell you what, I've had the privilege of tasting a lot of their sauces, and I picked one out for you, and it was their mango pineapple teriyaki glaze. So when those are done, all you got to do is just glaze them up. So you can make these ribs ahead of time, and then bring them to the party. Then glaze them up. You can throw them on their barbecue if they have one, or just pop them back in the oven, and they glaze incredibly well. You know, it's a delicious blend of sweetness of mango, pineapple, garlic, ginger, soy, everything that they have here on the island. They actually, Aloha's amazing because they're a fifth-generation family. There was five families that came over here and started Aloha in 1946, right after World War II. They created this business. And I don't know if I can get five family members of mine, without beating everybody up, Yeah, it's an Italian thing, But this is amazing that they actually put this group of families together and created a company that's still in existence today. And the president, Brian, is a third generation member of that tribe that started this whole thing. It's a spectacular company. They have an expanded line of sauces, so it's not just the soyu and everything else. They have glazes and sauces and vinegars, gluten-free now. So they got everything you need. So when it's time to glaze, just like with any kind of glaze or barbecue sauce, you want to put it on right at the end because there's usually sugar in it, and you don't want that to burn. I always see people putting barbecue sauce on raw chicken, and I'm like, what, they crazy? They kick me out of the party, of course, and they can enjoy their burnt chicken with a cold beer on their own, But just trying to get those little tips out there for you. It's a great way to make ribs up ahead of time and without a barbecue, so it's pretty fantastic. And I'll have to tell you, since I've been here, I've noticed, everyone talks this, farm-to-table stuff, right, guys? Yeah. You've heard of it, And it's true. When you are cooking with ingredients that are made right here and grown right here, or caught right here, for that matter, because of the island, right, Isaac? The aqua hunter just gave me, you better say you're catching fish, Isaac's the guy, I don't know if you saw the video, where he's a kayak fisherman. And he's out there catching a fish, thinking he's just a normal day right there, probably, right?
Yes, I did.
And all of a sudden, tell him the story. That's pretty amazing.
Oh, well, fishing around with one of my friends when I got on a nice fish, bringing it up as I usually do. I had my camera rolling, and as it got closer, I noticed something kind of big trailing my fish. And I didn't expect the shark to jump out of the water going after it, but I caught that on film and I had a reaction to everything that happened and put that on YouTube, and it kind of went crazy.
The rest is history, right? Viral, right?
Oh, that's your video.
That's him.
That's awesome.
Yeah, shark bait. That's what they called you. My God, and he was just after the fish. He wasn't after you at all.
He'd been out there all day. He attacked me earlier, so it wasn't like I hadn't seen him. I just didn't know he was going to get that crazy for a kava kava.
Wow. Speaking of kava kava. Last night. Yeah, that's right. We have Chef Norman here also. And last night on our show, the Chef Rock Culinary Underground on Channel 5, he made an incredible kava dish. Oh, man, that was so tasty. Nice and delicious. We'll talk about that when we get into their segment. But one thing I wanted to mention is that we also have polo here on the island. I was quite amazed that polo is so huge. Now, if you watch our show, we shoot it at the Hawaii Polo Grounds up there, Molokia. Is that the way?
Mokuleia.
That's what I said.
All right.
I'm telling you, I lived here for a year and a half on the North Shore. I couldn't pronounce the street I lived on.
That's right. Anytime you pronounce something that's wrong, you just say, all right.
All right. And then they know. Yeah. They'll point to where your house is. All right. To the left. All right. It's at least like in New York, you go, hey, I'm trying to find this street, and the guy will go, hey, you go down 2 blocks. And then you take a left by where Vinny used to live, but he passed away about 10 years ago. Like, I know, Vinny.
Yeah.
Then go right, left, bing, bang, boom, bada bing, bada boom, you're there. Thank you. I'm sure I'll get lost and be right back around in a circle to talk to you again. But over here, it's great because, you guys got so many vowels in a name, I'm sure to find my way around.
Yeah.
But no, it's an incredible place to live. I used to do my walks there on the North Shore, and there's like mango trees with like 2,000 mangoes hanging up there, and grapefruits as big as bowling balls, because everything grows so well here on the island. The one thing, and I won't go into a rant, but the one thing that I know, Norman, you're trying to help out with is the fact that most of the produce and probably fish go off the island.
Yep.
It goes off the island
Yeah.
to feed other people. And you go into the grocery store and you see a very little section that says local food.
Yeah.
I'm amazed.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, that's got to change.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Maybe we could do that. Maybe we could start helping some of these farmers stand up to these big buyers and say, you know what we really need is to keep the food here.
Yeah. There's enough people, I think, here in the islands that would use the food as, so they wouldn't have any problem getting rid of their produce.
No, I really don't think that is a problem. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, one thing I wanted to mention, too, is I've had this opportunity where it's a VJ's Butcher Shop in Haleiwa.
Yeah.
It's one of the new places on the island, and they supplied us with all our meats and fish for the show. And it's all local.
Yeah.
I mean, when they catch the fish, it's in a shop, like we were saying, and then it goes out.
Yeah.
Same with the meat. They got lamb. It's not bad. And then they got all kinds of other. They got pork. Bleep, bleep, bleep. If you can catch it, they got pork, and then they get the beef right from Molokai. I got that right.
That's
You
unbelievable.
did.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
Oh, that's great.
Now you guys are never going to let me forget that. All right. So what's great about it is it's local. See, if more people are selling it, I think more people will buy it.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
You know, guys. You know, what do you think about that, Johnny? Johnny, you travel all over the world, and
Well, my wife just came back from Australia, and she's talking about it's the same thing over there. They actually send the meat, the best meat, outside,
out of the country.
and so they serve the bad meat in Australia.
Yeah.
I'm always amazed that people let that happen.
Yeah.
Come on. You know, I mean, it's right here in your own
Exactly.
backyard. So that's why these butcher shops, like the one in Haleiwa, and I kind of find it ironic. It's right across the street from McDonald's. You know? It's like, get away. Ours is real.
Yeah.
But it's grass-fed, which is a little different.
Yeah.
You know, what I found was they grow the cattle here, and then what happens is they ship them off to the mainland. They fatten them up.
Yeah.
They fatten them up for 2 weeks with corn, slaughter them, and then bring it back here. My gosh, first class even.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's crazy.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
I don't understand that procedure, but I guess it's been like that for a while. So maybe we could change some things here, guys.
Hopefully.
You know, try to get some people to really tag on to this, not just farm to table, but ocean to table,
Ocean to table.
Yeah.
Definitely.
you know, and music to table. You guys got to start playing around, you know, at the different tables, you know, all that fun stuff, you know. You want to play a little right now?
Sure.
These guys are incredible. I could just listen to them all day.
Let's go.
It's their little song.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Midnight look across the room. Two strangers taking on gloom. All this time he was trying. He did think she was buying. He narrows down to the one. He tries to show her his guns. She can't tell what he's giving. And as usual, they leave him. And now he's alone. Why must he be alone? Why must he be? Is there such a thing as forgetting? Is there such a thing as forgetting? Chef Rock!
All right. Johnny Valentine, the Candy Bullets. You guys play all over all the islands all the time.
Yes.
You got a new CD out?
That's right.
And where can they get this CD?
You can go to cdbaby.com or iTunes or Amazon. Just search John Valentine and Candy Bullets.
I will, and we're going to make sure everyone gets some.
Cool.
Got to put it on the website. Have a little contest or something to give away some CDs. I like it.
Best
Hey,
recipe with Aloha Shoyu.
there you go. I like it. You're good, baby. You're working with it. I got a question for you guys. Has anyone skydived here before?
Yes, I have.
You have?
Yeah.
Norman?
Paraglide.
Paraglide? Is that like... What's
you know,
it?
jumping off the mountain and you're on a
Oh, okay, with those
parachute.
big fixed
Yeah,
wing.
and then you stay up for an hour.
Wow, that would be pretty cool. How about you, Vito? Huh?
Oh no, I never leave the ground, Chef.
Yeah. I was just going. I'm sitting with this box. I'm going nowhere.
I'll bring everything down.
Yeah, that's right. Well, I'll tell you what. I mentioned the Hawaii Polo Grounds. What's cool about that is at the halftime they have a show in Skydive Hawaii.
Oh, that's actually who I did my.
Did you do your dive
yeah,
with them? Isn't
yeah.
that great?
It was
I mean,
awesome.
since I was a kid, I always wanted to jump out of a perfectly good airplane for no good reason. And but it looks like so much fun. So since I've been there, we run the polo club. My business partner Laura Granzella, and she's my business partner, and we have quite a few things going on here, and. So we're always amazed when the people are jumping out of the plane and they're in a halftime show and they land right on the field, and some of them are first timers and they come over to me and they're like, they look like they're like born again, you know? It's like, what a feeling.
Yeah.
You know, they're like smiled ear to ear, and it's like the best thing they ever did in their whole life.
It's a freedom you can't explain.
Yeah, you know, and they happen to be one of our sponsors because they're part of what we do, and they're part of Hawaii. And there's so many things to do on this island. I just wanted to give them a shout out. You know, it's like, you know, you're flying through the clouds, you know, falling at 13,000 feet.
Oh, God.
It's got to be an amazing feeling. No, really. When you were a kid, didn't you think you wanted to learn how to fly?
Oh, yeah.
How cool would that be? You know how many times I went over a jump on my bike?
Yeah.
Thinking that was airborne, that was the coolest thing, and then maybe if I kept going, like in E.T. or something. Phone home, no thank you. Call collect, you know. But no, they're over by the Hawaii Polo Grounds over there on the other side of the North
Mokulia.
Mokulia. Right?
All right.
Mokulia. At the Dillingham Air Base. Thank you.
Almost.
Thank you. I got a subtitler here. He's got the white man subtitles. Yeah. Mokulia. Yeah. All right. Got that. You guys got to teach me some new words. If not, I'm going to be booted off. You know?
No, you're awesome, Chef.
You know, thank you. I'll pay you later. No, but they're great. They're at skydivehawaii.com, and you can check them out. They go every day, and they shoot the video. If you watch our show, you'll see some incredible clips of these people like fly. They're free falling at like 140 miles an hour, and they're zipping right towards the camera, and they got such a joy on their face. It's like the best thing they've ever done in their life. So Skydive Hawaii, thank you for being part of what we're doing here, and you know. I know a lot of stuff is happening in the world today and all that, but one thing that always stays true is that we got food, we got drink, and we got music.
Yeah.
And we're going to take a little break in a minute. When we come back, we got Chef Norman, and we also have Isaac from the Aqua Hunter. You're listening to AM 690. You guys want to play us out? Go for it. The answer. I'm Chef Rock, and we'll be back after this break. This portion of the show is brought to you by Aloha Shoyu. Taste the flavors of Aloha. Made in Hawaii since 1946. For more information, just go to chefrock.com. Don't forget the dot.
Skincare aesthetics, and it takes more than genetics. Pulelehua Skincare Aesthetics knows how hard dealing with acne and facial blemishes can be.
I've been dealing with acne for a year now. It started just as I was coming into high school. I felt like they were looking at my face and not at me.
You finally tried Isolay from Pulelehua Skincare Aesthetics. What were the results?
The results happened within 6 weeks. Because of the technology Isolay uses, it goes deep and it's painless.
Would you say Isolay from Pulelehua Skincare Aesthetics works?
Oh, it works. I feel like I have control over my face now.
To learn more about Isolay, the revolutionary acne and blemish treatment that's changing lives, call Pulelehua Skincare Aesthetics at 218-7871. Pulelehua Skincare Aesthetics. Look good, feel great.
Welcome back to the Chef Rock Culinary Underground Showground.
Chef Rock, he's one of a kind. Chef Rock, he will blow your mind. Chef Rock, you got to watch him do his thing. Chef Rock,
Take it easy.
Hey, easy. You guys crack me up, you know. It's Johnny Valentine and the Candy Bullets. You know, Vito's, you know. Were you in Easy Money as an extra? You know?
I've just been easy my whole life.
I love it. I got some special guests with us today. We got Chef Norman. Chef Norman was on the show last night as our chef guest on the Culinary Underground TV show. And we have Isaac from the Aqua Hunter. Two diverse guys. I mean, one's out there hunting the food and the other one's cooking it. It's a great combo. How did you guys get together? Anyway.
Oh, man, we were good friends for a long time, even before we made the connection for our business. He was always a fisherman, and I was always a chef, but we knew each other as friends for many years. And then when I finally opened my restaurant was when we put two and two together and started having this whole story behind the fish and how it's caught, coming in from the kayak, and then on your plate that day. You know, we'd use the social media to push it all the time, and then all my customers would come in and love the story behind it, you know, and it's, you know, fresh fish that day, sustainable, outstanding.
Isaac, obviously you weren't born on a kayak. Well, maybe you were over here.
No, I wasn't.
No. What made you go out on a kayak to fish?
Your overhead is much smaller than on a boat, and you know what you can pull out of the sea for that amount of money you got to spend to get out there is sometimes can be really amazing. So. You know,
But your first, tell me about your first time out there. I mean, you're alone, or you had a group of people with you?
First time out, oh man, that's way back, like 10 years. Probably just going around for some papilles. You start small, you know, just get something on the kayak, and then you try and eat it. You know, you catch whatever and try to eat it, see if it's edible. And
out there on the boat? That's sashimi to the fullest right there, baby. Little wasabi on the head. Oh, hey, it's good, babe.
In the beginning,
moving.
I just catch whatever and try it. You know?
Yeah.
And
that's great. I mean, obviously, if you've had fresh fish, I mean, like right out of the water, it's completely different than the stuff that's been sitting at, you know, the grocery stores.
Oh, yeah, we're talking hours versus days, you know, or weeks sometimes. And as you guys were talking about, the meat that comes in sometimes, you know, a lot of times people don't understand. We're eating fish from the Philippines in the supermarket sometimes. I mean, that's not fresh. It can't be.
Something's very wrong here.
Yeah.
That's just not right. You're correct, especially when there's an abundance right around and that you guys can go out and get. We were talking earlier about an opportunity where people can go online and see what was caught by a fisherman, a hunter, a gardener, and see what's available for auction, right?
Absolutely.
That's what you're pushing. That's your agenda, Norman.
Exactly. It's bridging that gap between the farmers and producers and the restaurant owners and the chefs out there who want to use local sustainable ingredients, things that come back to the island and continue to go into our local economy, you know, as well as for each person knowing, you know, my fruit came from up the road, not from the Philippines, not from Florida, but from here, you know, and it's just in my opinion, better tasting, just like a fish that's caught pure, like how Isaac catches it versus, let's say, long lining, you know, I mean, they're both good, but I just find that the fish that's caught that way is just a little more tastier, you know. It's all about the sustainability, I think.
Explain long lining, because I'm familiar with it, but I don't know if everyone
Oh,
is
okay.
out here.
Yeah, well, fish being caught off a large rig with a long line that's just out there baited, and they see hundreds of hooks. Yeah.
And how long does it sit in the water once it's hooked? It could be out there for hours, right? And now it's
days.
In days.
When they come and collect it, some are carcasses, some are still nice, depending if sharks got to them or not. And then they get all packed in ice and shipped back, and sometimes that might not be for 2 weeks later.
Wow.
Yeah.
So 2 weeks. 2 weeks is 2 weeks, no matter how you look at it. Versus 6 hours on the water. I'm already posted up on my auction page, and people are bidding on that fish by the time I get in.
That's incredible.
That is incredible.
Now that's what it should be all about. That's what restaurants should be looking for.
Yeah.
How to get that.
Yeah.
I mean, when I was running a restaurant here, I always had guys knocking on the back door saying, "I just caught a fish. I got this. I got avocado, whatever," and I would always buy.
Right.
Because it was helping them. Plus, it was literally in the water. They'll call me from the boat.
Yeah.
I used to get the white crab.
Oh
My God! And it was funny because the local guys in my kitchen, they were great guys, and they would always say, "Let's see what this guy from California is going to eat," and they made me some white crab poke.
Yeah.
And they're all eating and looking at me, see if I'm going to eat that raw fish. I'll eat sashimi and all that, but the raw crab is raw crab.
Yeah.
And I sucked it up, and I was, get me some bread. Get me some of that sauce. I had to go a little New York on them. But I was eating that crab like it was going out of style, and they were like,
awesome.
Yeah.
Nice.
Loose jaw,
Yeah.
Oh, my God. So it is a great opportunity to eat anything that is fresh from the sea or locally grown here. And, I commend you, Norma, because it's a tough world out there when you have to buy produce in bulk.
Yeah.
And sometimes the farmers aren't quite sure on what to charge, and they're overcharging and
sometimes undercharging.
There has to be some kind of parameter set where, okay, this is almost like a commodity.
Yeah, and what I can
the
create
level.
for them is the going rate,
Exactly.
And that's what I'm helping to try and do is create the going rate for the farmers for their produce to the restaurant owners. It's just trying to really give everybody an opportunity to work with local companies and local farmers rather than, picking up the phone and calling the easiest guy, which I was used to when I first had my restaurant until I figured out a farmer's market was right on my doorstep. And then I started making and networking through him because he knew a lot of other farmers. So even if he didn't have it, he knew someone he would get it from. And it was just great to know that all of my stuff was coming from the islands, It's
fresh and direct.
Fresh and direct.
And there's a lot of farmers markets here. So, unlike in California where they do
one gigantic
one big one, it's like a swap meet, Yeah. And it's great when you can go to your local area and you can go there and get that fresh fish. Or if you've ever been to the auction downtown, that's pretty cool.
Yeah,
too.
it's neat.
But it's to go get something that someone just picked that morning, and it's sitting right there.
Yeah.
And then you can bring it home and you can make it for your family.
And you know what the good thing with these farmers is that they take so much pride in their work, whereas where you're getting from a producer, a lot of times they don't care how the tomatoes are packed or whatever. But when you deal with a farmer, they love their produce. They take care of it. They've raised it. It's like their kid, so they package it well. It's not all bruised up. Everything looks great. It's outstanding. It's just a better way to deal.
Right, and there's no pesticides either.
Yeah, exactly.
Little dirt, but hey.
Right.
I'm used to that anyway.
Chef Rock, little dirt don't hurt.
Right.
I've never seen so much dirt on an island. That red dust that's flying around.
I live in the middle of it. Yeah.
Yeah? I've never seen such stuff. I mean, it's great. Really. No, you think about, I always love when I'm here, if I had to go downtown, and if I was going to the North Shore, when you're up at the top of the hill on Pineapple Road.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden you see the waves breaking out there, so you always tell how big they are, and all the trees and everything that's going on out there. Yeah. It's just beautiful. I mean, I grew up in Connecticut on the East Coast, and I was fortunate enough that I knew what I wanted to do when I was in high school. I wanted to be a chef. So I went to culinary school. I went to Johnson & Wales way back when, and went to school with Emerald, before he was bamming, And so we went back there and learned the basics, and I was fortunate enough to get some really cool jobs along the way. I was a chef on a private yacht in Monte Carlo.
Wow.
So what that entailed was, besides being in an atmosphere of richness, everyone's like old money millionaires, but I had the opportunity to actually go shopping every day. Because that's the way they do it in Europe.
Right, exactly.
The fresh food,
Yeah.
the fish. The same thing over here is starting to happen. I think with these farmers markets, they're starting. If you go into like a Whole Foods, you go to these other places, and they have these extravagant setups with all the local food.
Right.
Wouldn't you want to buy it? Yeah,
absolutely.
it's local.
Absolutely.
You know, I mean,
that's one thing I've noticed about, all the greatest chefs always deal with who works right around them. You know, they're not saying I get this beef from all the way over here. They're saying I get this beef from up the road. I get this produce from up the road, which is just the best, you know, and it's all the best chefs. So if everyone who's the best is doing it, there's got to be something to it, you know?
No, you're right. And Isaac, I have to commend you out there, fishing one line at a time. How many poles you got going at once?
Usually two.
Two?
Two. One short, one long.
What if you get like two big fish on either end?
It's happened.
Fight them both.
Are you spinning in circles out there?
A little bit, yeah.
Have you ever gotten dragged?
Oh, I got flipped over, dragged.
No, really?
Sharks, yes, everything. It happens all out there.
Don't you get scared?
No, not really.
I mean, I worked on boats. I worked on fishing boats too, way back when. And I was on this big old boat, 113 footer. And I remember one time it was early in the morning, and we were the first sport fishing boat to fish Clipperton Island off of Costa Rica. So we're out there. We're the first guys out there, and we're dropping lines, and these guys are slamming on 300-400 pound tuna.
Wow.
Big dogs. I mean, big dogs. 4-hour fights to get it in. So early in the morning, I'm up. I sleep like 2 hours. So the guys were out all night fishing. So I was up early, and I snag onto the shark, and it was a 12-foot brown shark.
Oh.
So I go to the captain, can we bring it on? He says, nah, nobody's awake. Go ahead. So I bring him right to the side of the boat. It's like a torpedo. He's just freaking laying there like I never caught him, Next thing I know, I get the 5 guys, and we all gaff him. We all gaffed him. Yeah. And as we're pulling him up, he decides to roll. When he rolled,
everyone off the boat.
Everyone snapped. Everybody's snapped except mine. And mine's hanging on, and it went flying up and caught me under the armpit. It was like almost catapulted me over the side. It was the scariest thing in the world. And the guys grabbed me and let go of their gaffs, and mine broke, but the line hung on it. The twine hung onto the wood. And he's rolling, and he's yanking me to the side, and they couldn't get the pole out,
Oh, man.
And finally, he kind of stopped for a minute, and they yanked the pole out from underneath me, and the captain's going, you get that shark on board yet? And I looked like I had, Don King in a headlock under my arm. I was all like puffed up and bruised and everything. And it was like terrible. I go, okay, guys, I'll just fish the smaller fish. I'll stay away from them big dogs, But yeah, it gets scary out there, I mean, you're out there and you're doing your thing. You're doing your thing. Well, guys, you know what? I would love to have you guys back on again.
Yeah,
sometime.
Thanks a lot, Chef.
We're going to go to a break. We're going to be right back. Guys, you want to play us out? Yeah.
Hey, I need to tell you something you really gotta know. If I was in your shoes, I truly wanna know. See, your girlfriend was my girlfriend a couple years ago. I saw her just the other day. She said that you're okay. That's what she said. You're exceptional. That's what she said. You're unusual. That's what she said. You're natural. That's what she said. You're remarkable.
I'm Chef Rock, and we'll be back after this break. This portion of the show is brought to you by Aloha Shoyu. Taste the flavors of Aloha. Made in Hawaii since 1946.
It is with sound mind and body that I, James Fredericks III, after fighting with all direct family members for decades, leave my entire fortune of $32 million to the one friend I had in the end, the package delivery guy, Matt Songer.
Woohoo! Yeah! I had a feeling about this. I'm rich! Oh, this cannot be happening.
Actually, it's not happening.
What?
And it never will.
I don't get it.
There aren't even people here. That's just one of those murmuring sound effects.
Seriously?
Listen, if you want to have money in your future, don't rely on luck. Put $10 away each month. Cook once in a while instead of eating out.
Okay.
Pay down your high-interest credit card.
Right.
Small changes today, big bucks tomorrow.
So, no inheritance?
No. Go to feedthepig.org for more free ideas.
Feedthepig.org.
This message brought to you by the American Institute of Certified Public Accountants and the Ad Council.
And just to be clear, no inheritance, right?
Confessions of a Potentially Perfect Parent, brought to you by AdoptUsKids.org.
I might look like an adult, like a person who could possibly be a parent, but I have no idea how to talk like one. And everyone knows that if you want to be a parent, you have to sound good when you say things like, "Don't make me turn this car around," or "Because I said so," or "Don't make me come back there." I don't even really know what those things mean, but I know that I actually believed my parents when they said them to me. How did they manage to sound so convincing? Here we go. "Don't make me come back there." Ugh, no, that's not tough enough at all. Kids can sense weakness. "Don't make me come back there." Ooh, yeah, that's better. In fact, that kind of sounded like my dad. Weird.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. There are thousands of teens in foster care who would love to listen to you practice your dad voice. Call 1-888-200-4005 or visit AdoptUsKids.org for more information. This message brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt Us Kids, and the Ad Council.
For more information, just go to ChefRock.com. Don't forget the dot. Welcome back to the Chef Rock Culinary Underground Showground.
1, 2, 3. Chef Rock, he's one of a kind. Chef Rock, he'll blow your mind. Chef Rock, you got to watch him do his thing. Chef Rock.
Hey, we're all gonna eat.
Yeah, baby. Johnny Valentine and the Candy Bullets, ladies and gentlemen. Voiced by Vito. You guys are incredible.
Thank you. Hey, I want to introduce Aj here
Yeah,
on the
please do.
On the cajon. He's playing percussions for you. This is Aj, Vito on the acoustic guitar, and my name is Johnny.
How long have you guys been together as a group?
Year and a half.
Year and a half.
Yeah.
That's great, because I remember when you guys were on the first shows that we did last year.
Yeah, that was fun.
That was a blast. Yeah. And now we're starting all fresh again.
Yes.
Every Friday night.
Sounds good.
K5.
Seeing them, Facebook and everyone. And
Yeah, nice.
Texting and
Yeah, the show's a lot of fun. You can check. I will be posting a bunch of new stuff on the ChefRock.com website, and we're going to be taping again probably around 13th, 14th of May over at the Polo Grounds in Mulakalia. They get it?
All right. Mokula-ia.
Mokola.
Mokule.
Mokale-ia.
Yeah.
I got it now. Hey, all right.
All right.
So we're going to be out there taping some more shows, and we do have guests in the audience, and you get to sample the food and the cocktails and all that kind of fun stuff.
Nice.
Speaking of cocktails, I wanted to mention that one of our sponsors is Wilson Creek. Wilson Creek makes an almond champagne, a peach Bellini. Oh, it's unbelievable, and they got a new sangria out. We're going to probably be popping one of them bad boys at the end of the show and drinking it out of a paper bag on the way home. But it's because we can't drink in the studio. That's why, But it's unbelievable. They actually ferment the almond extract in the champagne in the bottle, the old-fashioned way. And they're a huge vineyard there. Temecula is kind of a growing area in Southern California where it's basically like the Nappy.
Oh.
So there's Sonoma Valley even. It's got like 50 vineyards. It's a really great place if you're visiting San Diego or L.A. to get over there, and there's plenty of places to stay. Wilson Creek's got some new suites available. You could have your wedding there on the grounds. It's gorgeous. But give it a try. It's in all the stores. It's called Wilson Creek Almond Champagne. It's delicious. And I wanted to throw out another shout-out to one other before we get to our next guest, and it's Ross Appliances. I'm going to screw these names up, too. It's Waiapahu?
That's right. That's good.
Thank you very much. Hey. Thank you. You got that right? Waiapahu and Kalihai? Kalihi. I knew I got it right. They have 2 stores there. They rebuild, clean up, paint, and guarantee your appliances. They do washers, dryers, refrigerators, freezers. Stop it, guys. You're making me feel in furniture. When I needed some refrigerators and stoves for the kitchen that we have at the Polo Grounds, Bobby took care of me. The delivery, everything, it was amazing. He really stood up, and over here, it's nice to have people stand up for you. They're an old-fashioned company. They've been around for quite a few years. I believe they started in 1975. So what I like about Hawaii is there's a lot of old companies here.
Oh, yes.
They didn't sell out. They survived. And that's what it's all about. And our next guest is Chef Nicola Torri.
Hi, Chef.
How are you? She's our sustainable chef. And again, we're going on to the theme of keeping everything real, keeping it fresh, keeping it local. So how you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Fantastic. Now, where are you from originally, right? I can't remember now.
I grew up in Atlantic City, New Jersey.
That's right.
I
Jersey
moved to
girl.
Hawaii about 9 years ago.
Okay.
For college, I went to HPU, and I fell in love with Hawaii, so I stayed.
Nice. We're glad you did.
Well, thanks.
Now, you're a private chef.
I am a private chef and caterer, and I do small private dinners, small groups, weddings. Like to keep it under 50.
That's nice. That way you get the quality,
Absolutely.
and the personal attention. I used to do some catering in the old days, and it's nice when you could actually go out there and walk around.
And talk to the guests.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Without it being such an overpowering thing where you got 200 people to feed,
Yeah.
Like an Italian get-together at my house. I mentioned free food. I see relatives I've never met before. And they all got the to-go plates. You ever notice that? I remember one time I was at one of my Italian weddings, Some relative I didn't really know well, but, we all go. And what's funny is they all had, like, tinfoil inside the purses.
Oh, my God.
And I go, Ma, was that like some kind of for radioactive stuff? She goes, no, watch. At
They're
the
bringing
end of
the
wedding.
bread.
Yeah, they're loading up the cookies. They're grabbing the cookies.
Grab some of the cookies on the way out.
They grab
it's a
some.
wedding favor.
You know what I mean? They're scooping.
Hey, the food's paid for.
That's right. They're scooping, and But that's the way the Italians we work. We don't starve. You don't see too many skinny ones around, do you?
Hey, you kidding?
It's because they always manja, eat more.
Yeah, it's funny because I always tell the story when I traveled a lot for 28 years. I was known as one of the clever Cleaver brothers, one of the original TV chefs. And we kind of broke a lot of ground back then, and we were doing shows like Regis and Kathy Lee. We were regulars on that for 3 years. We were the first chefs on Entertainment Tonight, Cooked in the House with Lisa Gibbons, and, CBS This Morning, all these kinds of real morning shows, evening shows. And when I'm, being in California, when we went back to New York, I grew up in Connecticut, so I would go see my mom. My partner would come over, and my mom would be waiting outside the door with the food. Big platter as soon as we pull up. Well, Mom, let's get inside
Where are
first.
your friends?
Exactly. And we would eat like it was the Last Supper. And my mom would always say, well, oh, wow, you're looking good. You lost some weight, And like the next day she goes, you better cut some weight, man. You put some weight on. As she hands me a 6-foot grinder for the plane. So it's funny. Everyone grows up in a different culture. You're Italian, right? So you know how that was.
We used to do a family dinner every Sunday night.
See, that's what do they do that over here? I noticed one thing about the Hawaiian culture is it's still real strong with the family, and that's what I really like. Mm-hmm. Any chance there's an opportunity to party and get together with friends and family, like my first tsunami warning last year. I'm there at the restaurant, I'm making like one pizza and I got a quart of soda, and I'm zipping up the hill, the park. And there's cars around me with barbecues going, like they knew this was happening.
Oh, yeah.
Coolers of beer, they're already waiting. And they were like 4 in the morning, and they're just, and I loved it. I said, well, and then you go around on the weekends, and it's all the families together enjoying life. And, as the sustainable chef, tell us a little about why you got into that area of cooking, because that's kind of a specialty thing here.
Well, I studied international business. And I learned a lot about trade, foreign trade, imports, exports, and the cost, almost the blind cost that comes with importing all of our food to Hawaii. And through my studies, I realized by supporting local, not only are we supporting the local economy, we're getting a fresher product, and it's so important to be connected to your food and to know who's growing it and where it's coming from. And food brings people together,
Well, as we know, growing up Italian, food brings everyone together, and there's a lot of other cultures that do it, and Hawaiians are big on that, and that's what I like. And I've learned a lot about the cooking techniques over here, which uses everything from the banana leaves to tea leaves to I'm not too sure about that laulau stuff, but I'm still wrapping my head around that.
Really? It's like spinach.
Yeah, it is.
Or, yeah.
Isn't it?
Yeah, it's kind of like spinach.
It's kind of like what are those like things floating around in there? No, I'm like, actually, I love the flavor.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, it's kind of like a poor man's porridge, based on like an Italian dish like soupe de pêche, or or something of.
Oh, you're talking about poi?
No, not poi. You're
taro.
Well, there's that too. I was mostly talking about that lao stuff.
Oh,
the green stuff that turns to puree.
Leaves. Yeah, that's taro leaves.
Yeah, what's cool about it is it's like Italians, like we have spaghetti on Sunday night.
Yeah.
Next night I'm having spaghetti again, but with beans. And Mom calls it a whole thing. It's pasta fagioli. Now it's famous on Italian menus. I'm going, are you kidding me? We ate that because we had to, not because I wanted to. But that over here, they utilize everything, which I really like. I like the culture that does not waste a thing.
They're so connected to the land, too. I feel like there's a big spiritual connection amongst the culture and being connected to the land and the food. And
especially with seafood.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure back in the day, wasn't it the way where, they have areas around this island that are kind of sacred grounds in the water?
That shark you were talking about earlier, it could have been one of your ancestors.
It could have been, yeah. It's same kind of dental plan. Well, not with a girl by that name, Sharky. We don't want to go there. But no, there's things around this island that I'm finding that are so sacred, and it's a culture that is missed in the States. Mm-hmm. The American Indian kind of got pushed to the side there, and they're starting to bring out some of those cultures. But over here, it never went away. No. And that's what I like. I mean, it's in the food, it's in the people, it's in the dance, it's in everything.
It's in the drivers.
It's in the drivers. We're going to take a little break. We'll be back with Chef Nicole in a minute. I'm Chef Rock, and we'll be back after this break. This portion of the show is brought to you by Aloha Shoyu. Taste the flavors of Aloha. Made in Hawaii since 1946. For more information, just go to chefrock.com. Don't forget the dot.
Can I have a price check on aisle... ma'am?
Yeah.
Don't look down, but there's a giant python wrapped around your leg.
Oh, yeah, I know. It's probably nothing.
Nothing? Shouldn't I don't know, call someone?
No, I don't have the time. I'm late as it is. If it keeps up, I'll have it looked at.
Are you sure? That's a pretty big snake.
No, I'm fine. Thank you, though. You're very sweet.
You wouldn't ignore this, so why ignore the signs of a stroke? If you or someone you know suddenly experiences numbness of the face, arm, or leg, or sudden trouble speaking, seeing, or walking, don't wait to get help. Call 911 right away, because time lost is brain lost. To find out more, visit www.strokeassociation.org or call 1-888-4STROKE. This message brought to you by the American Stroke Association and the Ad Council.
Welcome back to the Chef Rock Culinary Underground Showgram.
Woo! How's everybody doing out there?
Great to see you.
It's always a pleasure. You know what I mean? No, this is I wanted to create a show that was a little wacky, a little fun. Awesome. Yeah, well, thank you very much, Johnny Valentine, Candy Bullets, live guests. We're going to be talking about all types of things throughout the season. I want everybody to kind of gather around the old transistor radio. Has anybody got that? Actually, you probably just sit around the computer and listen to us. But we have a lot of fun things here happening here at the Culinary Underground. Obviously, our TV show runs every Friday night at 7 on Channel 5 at 7 p.m. It's called the Chef Rock Culinary Underground. I wanted to give a couple more shout-outs. I really wanted to thank Aloha Shoyu because it's an incredible local company that was established in 1946 by 5 Japanese families right after World War II. They survived all the years of all that heavy competition. It's a tough business.
That's challenging.
Isn't it?
Absolutely.
To make it last that long, now today Aloha is one of the top market leaders in the soy business, and they're moving into the United States, into the mainland, I should say. And they continue to spread all their good quality products throughout the islands. And I want to commend them because that's an amazing thing. It's an amazing thing. Well, we have Chef Nicole with us here, and Chef Nicole is incredible. She's the sustainable chef. She'll be appearing next week. And we had something to clear up, right? You saw a clip of the show, and you got very upset. Tell me why. Tell me why.
He asked me how big that piece of marlin was, and the cut that I got was 5 pounds. And then I was so bold as to say that the entire fish was 40 pounds. And I went home that day thinking to myself, my dog weighs more than 40 pounds. It's going to sound like I caught a baby marlin.
Yeah, I know. Baby marlin killer.
And then I thought, there might be fishing laws against catching baby marlin.
So you wanted to set the record straight.
So I just want to clarify.
That's right. It was probably about 400 pounds. It was
right,
probably,
at a zero.
Yeah, because they're not small animals.
The Coast Guard's here, they want to talk to you.
I didn't get a lot of sleep. I don't know what I was thinking.
We're rescinding your license.
40 pounds.
You cannot practice chefery in this state anymore. You haven't done that yet? No, they should, though. What I'm amazed is that you've really taken an application of fresh and local and made it a career as a chef. I mean, because it's tough. Because there's so much stuff out there that is great, but it's not local.
Right.
And you got to combine. You got to work hard to get everything local.
I love the challenge of creating new recipes or doing twists on or combining recipes to create some type of fusion dish. And we're so fortunate here. We have so much access to fresh fish, local produce, and I think there's... What were you going to say, Chef?
No, I was agreeing with you. That was an Italian nod. All right.
So, yeah, I enjoy using local, fresh. We did a Kajiki ceviche on the show.
Oh, that was so good.
Thanks.
And I did the Kajiki ceviche dance,
Hey, it's
too.
a new dance, all
Yeah,
right?
that's right. It's the latest craze at the fish market.
Oh, I do it in clear a room, okay?
Somebody step on a duck? That's great. Well, we're looking forward to seeing you out there more, and you're a personal chef and caterer, so how do people get in touch with you?
Through Yelp, through Facebook.
When you say Yelp, I thought that was just for restaurants.
You know, I think Yelp is for a multitude
Everybody
of
now?
services. Yeah, dry cleaners, you name it.
That's great. That's great. Speaking of dry cleaning, segues are for kids. Now, I wanted to mention that we have on the AM 690, The Answer, we have a section, kind of like some of the other sections they have on there with their 50-50. It's called the Chef Rock Elite Eats. So if you're a top-end restaurant and you want to get on there, you want to have your chef on the radio show and the TV show, you give us a call. I want to have you start checking it out. I believe we have one on there right now. Also, Big City Diner. I'm looking forward to having their head chef on. They're one of our new sponsors. And Chef Nicole, I want to thank you. I want to thank Johnny Valentine and the Candy Bullets. You guys are awesome. They're going to be here every week,
Thank
right?
you so much.
Every week.
Thank you so much.
We got a lot of fun stuff happening. I want to thank Chef Norman and Isaac of the Aqua Hunters, Aloha Shoyu, and Skydive Hawaii. Who else? The VJ Butcher Shop, Ross Appliances, and Big City Diner. Until we see you again, have fun cooking, because cooking is fun, baby. You got to work it like a rib. That's what I say. So, Vito, take us out, babe.
You got it, Chef. 1, 2, 3, Chef Rock. He's kind of cool. Chef Rock. He ain't no fool. Chef Rock. Hey, kids, stay in school. Chef Rock. He's got the biggest show, all right?
Yeah.
Everybody sing Chef Rock. Chef Rock.
Chef Rock. Oh yeah, baby. See you next week.
Chef Rock.
Every Saturday.
Keep it on the table, okay?
Chef Rock, baby. That's me. That's my friend Peter on the guitar. Oh
yeah. Everything's better with Chef Rock.
Yeah. All right.
So I didn't know how to stretch that long. I would have put another verse in there.
No, that was good. It was funnier when it was stretched. Haven't been stretched like that in a long time.
Take it easy, Chef.